Welcome to the Féileacáin Fathers Podcast. Today I'm joined with two fellow Féileacáin Fathers. I'm going to let the boys introduce themselves now.
Hi, my name is Tony and my son was Arthur.
Hi, my name is James Hughes. I am dad to Noah and brother to my sister Megan.
And as I said, we're all fellow Féileacáin Fathers here. I'm a dad to my little girl Brooke, and I think it's very brave, lads, for you all to be here for the first time, you know. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a nice thing to get to do, to speak for our little boys and girls that aren't here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have to keep their memories alive, and by talking about them and saying their name, it's just so important to us and to our families.
And I suppose to start off at the very beginning, for someone who's watching and is like, what is Féileacáin? Who are Féileacáin Fathers? Where did Féileacáin Fathers all begin?
So originally in 2019, a lad Stephen from Wales contacted us. He plays for Sands over there, and they're the equivalent charity to Féileacáin in the UK. And Stephen is a Dublin lad living over there, and he contacted us and said, would Féileacáin be interested in setting up a football team? Now, my initial thought was, no way, it's too hard.
Yeah, how do we do that?
I'm not getting involved with that. I'm managing a team as it is, and I know how hard it is. But the more we thought about it, and myself and two others, Anthony and Ken, said this could be a runner. We might get this up, because what we found was it was only women coming to the sport meetings, or 90% of the people coming to the sport meetings were women. You know, men are doers, they're not talkers. Give us something to do and we'll do it. Give us a marathon or a fundraiser or build a wall or mow the lawn, we'll do it. But ask them to talk about their feelings in a meeting, and there's no hope.
But that is extremely true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same as well. Like, we just don't like to say stuff. It's too honest or too raw or too real.
Yeah.
That's what I'd feel on that.
If you go somewhere with the intention of having to speak, you talk yourself out of it. If you go somewhere with the intention of meeting a group of lads and having a kick about, it's much more comfortable and it's much more open. And you're normally going to be going with 2 or 3 lads you might know.
Yeah.
Or you will know them within 20 minutes.
So you were saying, Tony, so you started off, you got a phone call and you're on about starting a football team. Who was with you, or, you know, what was the actual sentence then, or how many people was there, or what was the...
So there was... The email came through, and then we discussed it ourselves, and then Stephen phoned us and said, it could be good for you. So we sat down, Anthony and Ken, myself, we sat down at Féileacáin's actually summer service, Féileacáin being the main charity, and we said, can we get 11 dads to play in a charity match? Let's see. So that was just all before COVID hit, but the time, like after 3 months, we had 30 dads signed up.
Wow.
We didn't realise there was a need or a want for something to be able to do. We put it to the dads that we'll all raise €100 and we'll pay for the kits. And the kits are so special because each kit that you wear, you get to keep afterwards, but your jersey has your baby's name on it. And like, there's never a more important kit that you're going to own than that one.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then unfortunately, COVID hit and put everything on the back burner for a while, but the demand and the want for the team was still there.
And did it come back? So I can imagine it's so hard to get something started, and you're like, right, this could actually be something. Then COVID comes along, stops it. Was it hard to actually get it going again, or were the lads, the dads who had all kind of been separated or kind of doing it on their own, didn't have a connection with a fellow group of dads who'd been through the same? Were they all there to get going again straight away?
Pretty much, and you have to remember, like, the dads were coming from all over the country. Like, straight away, you had dads from Dublin, Meath, Kildare, Cork, Wexford, Galway. We had a dad from Achill Island.
Wow.
So a lad from Kerry, a lad from Donegal. So that was just in the first match. And they just wanted to get back at it. And we had a couple of training sessions there, and we all got to meet up, which was great. And it was getting into a dressing room where everybody was the same. You know, when you were going back to your own football teams or stuff like that, you still felt kind of awkward walking back in. What are people going to say? What are you going to think? But with Féileacáin Fathers, there's no issue because everybody's the same. You're walking in, and the conversations and the chats that you have in there when you're ready, there's always somebody that will talk, but there's never any pressure to talk. It's people have said to me, like, that's their special moments. That's more important than scoring a goal on the pitch. That's more important than travelling around the country and soon to be travelling around the world. So it's really good, and that's I'll take that with me forever now. And that was well worth setting this up this time.
Well, I'm very thankful that you did. And James, when did you come into, how did your story become part? Because we all have so many individual stories that become all, together.
We really do, yeah. No, so with ourselves now, we lost Noah, and Féileacáin wasn't actually up and running at that point when we lost Noah. But we then had friends who lost babies as well. And it was one of our friends who had actually joined the team separately and mentioned it to me. And Lisa, like my wife, thought it was a brilliant idea. Of course, you're going to go and get involved. As soon as I went involved, I went to the first game in 2023, I think. We was the first game I was at. And like that, within 5 minutes in the changing room, you have no fear of mentioning Noah or raising the topic, or somebody says, what happened to you? It's a completely unnatural environment for somebody to ask you about your baby and ask you about your story. And like, you very soon find out that everybody's got a similar story, or everyone's in the same boat. You're not afraid to speak, and you can mention without fear of you're actually afraid of making other people uncomfortable when you raise the subject. But when you're in that changing room with those lads, everybody has a similar story. Some of them have much worse stories. So without a doubt, it puts your experiences into perspective. And then because, like, Noah would have been 15, we then see other fresher hurt and fresher pain. And you can then try and help that person by similar stories to ourselves and explaining how we go through stuff. And it's a brilliant environment. It really is.
I mean, like Tony said something at the start there, and he was saying, fellas don't like to speak, and like I'd be guilty of that as well. But for someone who's possibly watching, like, did you find it hard to go the first time? What was it like for you?
Without a doubt. Like everything else, it's the bloke in you doesn't want to face up to the pain, doesn't want to admit you're in pain. Like, realistically, not one of us is going to go and put your hand up and say, no, I want to join that group. As the boys will tell you, it's the one football team, and we said it before, it's the one football team you never want to be a part of. But when you're part of it, it's the one team you'll never want to let go of. It's a support network. It's even the WhatsApp group. Somebody puts in a happy birthday. Noah's birthday is in April. I'll always put up happy birthday, Noah, and then you'll always have 60 or 70 happy birthdays. And it's that acknowledgement, and everybody's in it together. It's brilliant. And
did you ever think, Tony, like, when you get an email, do you want to host a football match? And I'll speak on my part in this as well. I found Féileacáin about 4 or 5 months ago, and the lads told me about putting on the jersey. I even feel a bit emotional saying it now, a bit early, but like, I just never thought. The lads told me that this would mean so much to me, but I never had any idea until I got out and I met the lads, and I actually felt connection with people. Even my arms are going here, but I felt connection, a genuine, real, true connection with people who've just understood the pain that I went through in life. And as you said, fellas who keep it quietly to themselves. But when I stepped onto that pitch, like, I won't even try put it into words because I can't. But like, did you ever think, just from doing this one little thing of football matches, did you ever think it could grow or help so many people?
No. We never did. We thought we'd probably do a one-off charity match and then that'd be it. But it's like the way Féileacáin started themselves. Like, they thought they'd be here for a couple of years and then there'd be no need for them anymore. That's similar to what Féileacáin Fathers is. Unfortunately, there's always going to be a need, because there's going to be people joining that team soon who don't even know that they're in the situation. It's, as James says, it's a horrible thing to go through. It's a terrible team to have to join. But when you do join, we make sure you become like another family to us. From going from 3 of us sitting in a room one day to having over 100 dads on the team now, and it's so special. And as James says, even if people aren't playing, by being able to put a message up when it's their child's birthday, I think men in general, if we think we're attention seeking, if we put something up like that on social media and stuff like that, because look at him putting.
He's looking for attention, 100%. Yeah,
and we're not. And people don't think that way, because if they do think that way, they'd be horrible people. But it's in our own brain, and it's the way we're ingrained, and it's difficult to get through. But when you do put it up, and then you have those people, you feel free to be able to put it up, because you know everybody's the same.
Yeah.
And it's a special thing to be able to wish everybody a happy birthday. And, you know, if you're wishing somebody a birthday and they say it's their 5th birthday and you're putting 5 love hearts, or Arthur will be 13 this year, and I'll be filling up the page with love hearts when everybody puts the message in. But that's what it's all about. Everybody gets it. Everybody understands it.
Yeah. And for someone who's listening, if you could best describe what's the difference between Féileacáin and Féileacáin Fathers, if you could best describe to someone, you know, what's the difference between, obviously one's a charity, but, you know, for someone who might be confused about the two, what's the...
So Féileacáin, firstly, Féileacáin is the national bereavement charity in Ireland. So like the work when people are in the hospital still see by getting their memory boxes, or getting the cuddle cots, or getting their prints or candles and stuff like that, they're all done free by Féileacáin. Then Féileacáin would obviously provide counselling services and stuff like that, which I hinted at earlier, but it wasn't for men as much. You know, sometimes you might be just going to appease your wife or appease your partner, but we wanted to set something up that men could come and be free and talk about it and do these kind of things. And it's been a roaring success, because when we started to where we are now, like, it's amazing to think. And like, we play a game every month all around the country. We love going travelling to play charity matches for other events or other charities, and help them raise some money. And, you know, we're all just glad to get that purple jersey on and play ourselves. And it's our way of remembering our babies, because one of the most unfortunate things we have, our babies don't get to create memories for us. You know, we don't get to hear their first words, or see their first steps, or first day of school, or first communion, or first time scoring a goal, and all these kind of things. So we create memories for them, and by our families coming down to support us, which we couldn't do without our wives and partners and children, other children coming along to support us. They're happy to do it. And while the men are out there kicking each other or falling over, like myself,
getting cramps,
the ball. Like the partners are on the sideline having a chat, and they're getting something from it as well. So it's for everybody. It's for the whole family.
And I don't think you could have said that better, because I remember my first one, and my partner and my kids were there. For them to be there, my mum was there. Like, it was just an amazing day. You know, from people would say it's just a football match, or, you know, who wouldn't understand. The football's just a part of it.
Yeah.
It's more so, how can we bring all these people together who've had this horrible pain happen to them in life, and that they'll deal with for the rest of their life, but how can we bring some memory? And like you said there, and I couldn't believe it on the day, and I'll let you tell a bit about this one, because just you were around on the first event that I was part in, and I know how much work that both of you put in. But tell us a bit about the events that go on, James, please.
So, as Tony mentioned already, we do have monthly get-togethers, and the one thing to be very clear on, that the football is always a secondary part of it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be able to kick a ball. You just have to be willing to come along and get involved. Mm-hmm. The monthly sessions is either a training session in Ringsend, or there's an organised game somewhere around the country, as Tony mentioned. We're only back from the game of the weekend playing down in Skibbereen, which is the home of Féileacáin. Mm-hmm. And that was brilliant to be able to go down and represent. You're representing the team, you're representing your family, like you say, but you're also representing the lads you're on the pitch with.
Yeah.
Like, lads travel from all over the country just to play in these games. And the minute silence at the beginning of it, there's no more poignant moment, because in your head you know exactly who you're playing for. In the monthly games, there's no names on the jerseys. Everybody wears no name and a 0 on the back. Mm-hmm. but you have your angel wings and you're representing your angels, your teammates' angels, your family, everybody, whether they're there or not, you're representing them. And that minute's silence is so poignant because you know exactly in your head exactly why you're there, who you're playing for, and you just go out and give your best. And your best might be 5 minutes. It might be 45 minutes. But you can just go out and try. But like you said, we had the monthly events. We had our game there in May that we organised as part of the monthly games. We had the game in Drogheda, and that's where you came into it. And it was brilliant to be able to bring in a whole new group of lads from the area and introduce them to Féileacáin and introduce them to what the games mean. And you're banging in goals to beat the band at the game.
Flukes.
But realistically, the goal isn't the big moment.
No.
Like we said, the football's the bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Represent yourself, represent your family, having your family there with you. And even like little things like how you ended up knowing your mum. And it's, these little connections. And these are, these are what these events are about. It's having a safe space where you can go and you can kick a ball, you can go and stand and eat ice cream on the sideline. But you're there and everybody knows why you're there. You're there for your angel, your teammates' angels, your family. And it's a safe space where nobody has to hide why you're there. Or we wear our wristbands. The wristbands are there. Everybody wears them.
We all have them.
I use these as this is an introduction to people.
Tony does have an arm there, by the way.
Tony under all the wristbands. But it's an introduction to people. People see the Féileacáin and it says Father of an Angel. They'll either speak to you about it or they won't.
Yeah.
And it's something, it's an acknowledgement. And the monthly games, as we said, we know we can go to that and be safe. But if we meet people, like I wore my jersey on holidays and somebody asked me about the names and I had to explain the situation. And I felt bad for that person because they were backtracking kind of.
Yeah.
Whoa, no, and Megan, what's this? You have to explain what it is and you can see the discomfort.
Yeah.
But the games and the training sessions, we know there's no discomfort. We look forward to meeting the same lads and new dads. And whether you can kick a ball, you can't, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be a little bit of his-taking if you can't, but it's all in good.
Few injuries as well.
You get feign an injury 2 minutes into a game, nobody cares.
But even, Tony, when we talk about injuries, and when I say about the events that the effort that these guys put into organising, it's like we played one in Irish Town, like they even had physios there for us. We team come out from the UK, it was raining, but the family still all stood around the pitch. Like, it's absolutely amazing, and I think for me, and I suppose I'm saying this, and I don't, before Féileacáin, like I always thought about my little girl Brooke, but I was very disconnected from her because I had no way, as you said there, you don't want to be going to people that don't understand, I miss my little girl. It's not fair on the person in some ways as well, but like, and I genuinely mean this, Féileacáin's given me the connection back with my little girl, that I didn't have, that I actually, when I get on the pitch and I feel like this one's for you, little girl, and I'm here, and for everyone's kids that we're out there for, it's not just mine, it's all of us, but we're all there for it. But for Féileacáin, like, I'll forever be grateful for that because I have an outlet now. When there's an event on, I can take part. I'm going here for you. For no one else, I'm just going there for you. Like, so it's amazing.
Because you're making memories for them.
Yeah,
and it's a lovely way of looking at it.
Yeah, it's a very powerful thing to hear as well from you as well. Like, so, I'm sure the people that helped me set her up, Ken and Anthony, would appreciate hearing that kind of stuff. But it is the truth for everybody. Like, we do play monthly games, and I'd urge anyone out there who wants to get involved to contact us. And then in June, as the lads are talking about, we play our one charity game where we raise the money for Féileacáin, and that's the people on the outside. That must be a sad thing, or that must be, is it all meeting up for that? And this is a celebration of all our babies. Mm-hmm. That's what we have. We don't get to have birthday parties for them. We don't get to give them Christmas presents. We don't get to do all these things, which is very sad. And that goes for the whole family. Like, the grandparents don't get to do these things, or the uncles and aunts. But when we have our charity game in June, the whole family get to come, and it's like, my kids would always say it's Arthur's Day, or your kids might say it's Noah's Day, and your kids might say it's Brooke's Day. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. It's for everybody's family to say it's their own day. And then we all come together, and that's why we put so much effort into the June game, with the barbecues and the ice cream van and the goodies, and it's not just about us on the pitch, it's about them off the pitch.
But you even see grandparents, something like, you're looking, and I seen grandparents there and little kids running around with the flares. Like, it's so special when you understand what it means and you're part of it. Yeah. It's again, like you said, none of us wanted to be part of it, but now that it's there and I'm there, I'm damn glad that it's there, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, like you said, we're part of it, but like I said to you earlier, this doesn't belong to anybody. This group doesn't belong to it. Unfortunately, we're all part of the same, like the stories, everybody has are different, but the same outcome is there. We're all bereaved parents. Yeah. We're all equal. Anybody on that pitch is equal. You can be a brilliant footballer all you want, but you're still a bereaved parent. Mm-hmm. You can be a horrible footballer, but you still go out and you're representing. You have your name on the back of your jersey with your angel, and you can go and give as much or as little as you want, but you have that memory. You have like you said, walking onto that pitch with a baby's name on your back. You'll never get a stronger feeling.
Mm-hmm. And Tony, when we were talking, you were saying you'd be okay with sharing a part of your story, Arthur's story. If you go back, because I know for this, and it's hard, but everything, like you said, at Féileacáin, it's for the dads who still have yet to join us. Unfortunately, as much as we don't want to have them, there is dads who are still going to join Féileacáin in the near future and the distant future. But just to know that they're not on their own, or not, because we know what the feelings are. Like, are you okay to share a bit of your story of?
I might cry, but I don't mind. Myself and Claire was pregnant on her first child back in 2012, and she'd say herself like it was a smooth pregnancy. So we got through the 12 weeks and 20 week scans where you're told you get past them and everything's okay, but unfortunately we all know that that's not the truth. Mm-hmm. Claire got to 40 weeks and 2 days, and I remember her saying to me, "We'll go into the hospital in the morning. I think it's time." Off we went up to Hollis Street, and I remember walking in the door of Hollis Street saying, "The only job I have to do here is carry this car seat out in a day or two. This is easy for me." But it gave me so much pride, and we were the happiest two people in the world at that stage, as I'm sure everybody is. We went in and we met the midwife, and she took us onto the doppelganger machine, searching for the heartbeat. And what felt like hours, probably only 30 seconds of silence, it felt like hours. And the alarm bells are ringing in your head, and you know there's something wrong, but I'm not thinking it. And she came up with a little excuse that it's probably this machine, we'll move to a bigger machine. And we went to another room, and this time there was a doctor waiting for us in the room. And he tried again. And again, the 30 seconds, 45 seconds felt like hours. And eventually he turned around and says, I'm really sorry, but there's no heartbeat. And like, it just couldn't sink in. If you picture it, it was like we'd floated out of our own bodies, and we're floating above ourselves, looking down at these two people, saying, "What are you doing? Wake up out of this dream or nightmare." Couldn't all the way through. We thought he'd have a section then for Claire just to speed things up, but he said no, for Claire's health. It'd be a natural pregnancy. So I remember sitting around the hospital all day, and even gone out for a walk and seeing, it was so weird. You're walking, and it's like you're walking in slow motion, and the traffic is going around and beeping at you, and you're just like, what's going on in this world? A friend of mine went past and beeped at me, and like he texted me later on, then what was up with you? Like not knowing, like as you would naturally. And I went back into the hospital then. We always knew if we were having a girl, we were going to call her Grace. If we were having a boy, we didn't know what name we were going to call him. We were, as you do, having arguments over the names.
Many arguments, yeah.
So eventually he was born at a minute to 6. So I looked up the clock, and it was the clock, and I seen 17:59, and I thought the Guinness to Arthur, and that's how I came up with the name. Now, if Claire could have got up out of bed, she would have swung for me when I told the midwife we were calling her Martha. But we realised then that it was such a lovely name. To say, the midwife asked us just before that, did we want to hold the baby when he was born, or the baby was born? Mm-hmm. And we were like, oh no, I don't think so. I'd be too scared. I've never held a dead baby. I've never seen a dead baby. So I don't know what we're going to do. And she's like, that's fine. Take your time. But when he was born, he was just perfect. If he only could have opened his eyes and started crying.
Were you waiting for that cry?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember when you're
We still thought they were wrong.
Yeah, I was waiting to hear the scream. And even though it's actually, I knew, I was like, it's so surreal, but I know.
Yeah. You still weren't believing them that it had gone wrong, and all the way through. These are wrong, the machines are wrong, the baby's hiding around the back or everything like that.
Holding out hope. There's always that hope.
Yeah.
So when he was born, like, immediately in the two of us to say that, we knew what unconditional love was, and like we took him straight away, and we'd done things, and people don't realise this, we'd done things that normal, healthy parents would do with their child.
Yeah.
Looked at his fingers, looked at his toes, seeing whose feet he had, and squashing his nose, and all these kind of things, and we changed them. And the people outside the environment of Féileacáin, we had 3 days in the hospital with him because we didn't have cuddle cots were only coming in back then where you could bring the baby home. So we had 3 days in I moved into the hospital, didn't move. And it was the best 3 days of my life. And it's so weird because we knew that was the only time we were going to get with him. So we wanted to make every second count. And like, I remember we'd be in the room with him, and someone would have to go to the toilet, or someone would have to go down and meet one of our family, and the other one would stay there because we were afraid he'd get scared on his own. And like, it was just, you realise then, or you realise later on, like, that was just a natural parenting skills coming out to you, that you just wanted to protect them. Didn't know at the time, obviously, we just thought we were going mad. But that's what happens, and people who are only going through it, you feel like you're going insane for having these thoughts and having these things, but they're very natural. Yeah. You just don't realise it because it's not something, baby loss is never something that's discussed. Like, if you have, God forbid, like, when you grow up and then your parents grow old, and if your parents pass away, you're in a position to say, okay, I'm older now. Well, it's extremely sad. I'm able to deal with it a bit better, and people are able to comfort you a bit better because they'd come and speak to you and say, I remember your dad down the football team, or I remember your mum was always cheating at bingo, just to be able to have a laugh and get that. But it's when your baby taken away, you're just like, this is against the natural order. This is not right. So it was, where I am now to where I was there, because anyone that's gone through it now, like, my heart goes out to them. For those first week, I was a wreck. Couldn't pick up my phone. I remember picking up my phone to my brother and say, you've got to organise a funeral for me. And I always have big regrets over that, being so selfish of passing that on to my brother, but he was amazing, and my sister. And Claire's in-laws. Oh, sorry, Claire's family, my in-laws. Like, they done everything for us and just let us be the parents that were there for that precious time. And it means the world to us.
I can imagine. But it's something that I learned and only on reflecting. I'm just hearing you going through it. It's you're in a state of shock. You're alive, but you're not alive.
No.
You're just doing the next thing that you're not functioning. Yeah. You're literally waking up, and you feel it's not real, but you know it's real. But it still hasn't, for me, I remember, it still hadn't landed. Yeah. I was sitting there going, this is all going to change. But, I was the same as you. We didn't get to bring Brooke home. I had to stay in the butterfly room in the hospital. I remember we had to keep ice packs on the bed to keep the temperature down, and we were afraid that we were holding her too long, and people were, you just didn't know if you're doing the right or wrong thing. And I remember you said, like you were saying there, and I was reliving it, like taking photographs and selfies, and one minute I'd have a moment of clarity where I'd be like, am I mad? Am I supposed to take selfies with my dead baby? Because my brain's, it's not logical. My brain's not making sense of it. But thankfully I took thousands because something, just that inner thing just told me to take as many pictures and photographs as you can.
Oh, absolutely. If there was one thing I could tell people who are in the hospitals now going through it, take 1 million photographs. It's better to have 1 million photographs you never look at than one photograph you cry for. It's so important. And it does feel weird, and it's such an awkward thing, but it's if whatever can help you get through it. Just as you said, you're not functioning properly. You're just about, and you're in that mode where I can't do anything else but be here, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, that's the right thing for you at the time. You didn't know it at the time, because you just want to be there, and you just want to be with your baby, and you just want to help your partner, and that's what it's about in that moment.
You feel so helpless, and it's normal to feel helpless because you can't fix things. Dads just want to try and fix it.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be able to fix it, but you just have to survive. You have to get over. I'm not going to use the word get over it, but get through it, whatever it takes. Like you say with the photographs, we have a big collage on the wall at home. We were lucky enough to bring Noah home, and we have the Moses basket in the sitting room with our 2 girls now looking in and being there with him. And we have photographs of grandparents. Some of Lisa's mum and dad we've sadly lost. But we have a photograph with Noah and Noel and Mary. And these are things that you'll treasure. So these are the memories that you have to make in that small little window you get. And like you say, like there's nothing you can do to fix things. And you will muddle through it, but you'll have to try to make as many memories in that small window as you're going to get.
Yeah. Because
you'll regret. And it is, unfortunately, there's loads of regrets from the event, but there's things you have control of.
Yeah.
And the memories, and we mentioned earlier, Tony, with Féileacáin, like Féileacáin come in and they come into the hospital room and they'll take over. We weren't lucky enough, unfortunately, to have Féileacáin, but parents I know that have had the memories and have had the cuddle cots and the extra time. The time is the most important part.
Yeah.
It's any extra time you can get, you greatly take with 2 hands.
Yeah, a cuddle cot is the gift of time. Forget about anything else. Having that time is more precious than any money or anything else you can have, and with them being able to provide that. Yeah. You touched there, like, I know from speaking to the couples at the support meetings, like the moms who are the most important person in all this on the recovery, of course they are. Like, moms have a lot of mom guilt. I should have done this or I shouldn't have done this, and there was nothing they could have done anyway. Yeah. So I always try to appease them. But having said that, I have a lot of guilt. Men have a lot of guilt because men, like, going back to caveman times, like, were meant to be the protectors, and we couldn't protect our child. Like, and it's just, there's nothing to feel guilty over, but you feel guilty over it.
You can't help it.
It's just their psyche.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. And listen, when it happened to us, I thought if I help get Claire better, everything will be better.
Exactly what I done.
And it did for a while. Now, we did go to Féileacáin support meetings, and they were fantastic, because what that also gives you, it gives you a gift of freedom to be able to talk about your baby in an environment where, you were mentioning there, when you speak to somebody and you tell them what happened and then they start crying and you have to comfort them. So this gives you the opportunity to speak about your baby to people that understand, which is so important. But like, as a couple of years went on and Claire was getting better, thankfully, that's when I said, I don't feel well now. There's there's something affecting me now. What is it? And it was because I didn't grieve properly at the time. And you have to grieve. You have to open up and say, I've lost my son or I've lost my daughter, and this sucks. And how do I go about getting myself better again? Is it by getting into exercise? Is it by talking? Is it about doing all this? And the football comes along so well because it's all about your mental health.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the dads bottling it all up, get out, try be a bit healthy physically and mentally and even spiritually.
Yeah.
You know, I got heavy into exercising, and I used to love going for a run, and that'd be my time alone to go and talk to Arthur and have chats about how the day went. And, you know, I'd run 5k one way, and then the 5k back I'd be giving out to him because the chat 5k out was too far. I had to run all the way back, and like that was my way. And I'd do a lot of races, and it was always the last k of a race was for him. And you know, that's what
you have to dig deep.
Yeah, you look for every bit of inspiration you have, and there's no bigger inspiration because I always pictured him on the finish line waiting for me, and I always wanted to get out.
Yeah, but
that finish line as quick as possible.
You know he's there. You know he's running the whole race with you. And can I ask you, Tony, from starting Féileacáin Fathers, or with the group of people you started with from the email, did you have any experience with Féileacáin when you were in the hospital that time? Did they come into you? Like, what I mean is when Féileacáin came into, I would have been lost for a lot of it, but they come in and the handprints, the footprints, the photographs, the teddies. A photographer came in, and someone I'll always have so much admiration for because he kept it so normal. But to take photographs of my family and stuff, you know, I didn't know. I just went along. But am I ever grateful to Féileacáin for doing them things? You know, your memory box, it's at home, and it's, you know, it's...
People don't realise what that memory box is. I remember when they gave me the memory box, I was like, I'm going to throw this out the window. I don't want this. I want my baby.
Yeah.
But it was only when you get to sit down and think and look at it, you know, the two teddies in it, that you get to put one in with Arthur and one with you, and then you get to switch them right before the end. And all this, the lip balm that you put in is something that you wouldn't think, just to keep the lips from turning purple and stuff like that. And the memory boxes have evolved. Your memory box would be different to mine, because parents are coming back, I think we should put this in, or I think we should do that. Because they're the experts. Yeah. You're just not the expert at the moment. So we're always just thankful that there was somebody in the steps before us. And the photographer now, that's a slightly separate one who works with us. That's now I lay me down to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
For him just to be able to come in, because you feel so awkward for them saying, oh, he won't be able to come in, or she won't be able to come in. And they just come in and put everything at ease. And it's like just a normal photo shoot for them. That's how they treat it, and that's what makes you appreciate them. But and then when you get your Féileacáin send you on your hand and footprints, it's,
you know, it's
what a gift to have.
Yeah, because at the time, like you said, we're thinking about photographs and taking, but you're just not there. You're barely alive in some, you know what I mean, for want of a better way of putting it. You're just surviving in that moment, doing enough to just function. I know myself, I can only speak for myself, I wasn't that coherent enough to be thinking of this stuff. No. But like you said, when we got home, lads, it's just
you're
that
in a fog.
box.
You're just in a fog. You're just literally surviving. And like you say, the box, so happens that we stumbled across the box last year and we took it out, and the kids are all older now. And Jonah wouldn't have even about, but we went through the box. Lisa had made a memory box for herself, opened it up, completely forgot things like the wristband, the baby's wristband, all these kind of things.
The lock of hair that the nurse takes and picking it for you.
And that, like, again, these are the things that they don't connect. And then you open it up a few years later and you're going through them, and straight away, the smell of the room, everything comes back. And the cold, things like that, like, you don't really remember on a daily basis, but something triggers and you're straight back in there and you're back in the middle of it all. But it's completely natural and normal. And that's the one thing we get across. Like, people are thinking, like you say, oh, I didn't cope, I didn't do it, didn't do this, there's no right or wrong way. You just get through it, and then you gradually you know, with the likes of Féileacáin Fathers and things like that for the lads and the mums. Like, that's one thing Lisa's always said, that me joining Féileacáin Fathers has taken away to four.
Yeah.
Because I'm now talking, I'm now speaking about Noah. You're no longer in have to fix, have to help, have to do. Yeah. You're thinking about yourself and you're going off to play the games and you're looking forward to go and play the games.
Well, you lift up with excitement.
Yeah.
And it's the one time that you're leaving the house to go and play a football game where she's not saying to you, "Oh, you're going to football again?" Because she knows what it means to you, and she knows what it means to
them as well, though.
And
to them.
And to her partners. Like, Claire has made some amazing friends. Like, Claire came with us to Skib the weekend, and she got to meet up with her amazing other mums down there, and like, they're such good friends. And now the dad's team is travelling to the UK next month. We travelled last year, and then they came to us, and the 2 brilliant games, 2 wins, by the way. And now we're travelling to Liverpool to play a game next month. So we said, well, the partners should come. You know, and there's amazing, there's 39 of us going, 20 in the squad. And partners and other dads who weren't even playing are coming to support us. Like, that's what this family means to us all.
And even
it's a social thing too. And you know, like the socialising after a match, I just wanted to mention, like, that doesn't have to be drink related. It's just mineral, could be anything, but it's the chats. Yeah. It's the opportunity after the game. What's your story? What, like, you know, that opens up the conversation to when we were on the trip last year in England. I found out so much about the other dads' babies, because you're in a comfortable space, and even the drink isn't there, but 1 or 2 drinks in, and you're more open again, and you hear all the stories, and some of them are horror stories, and it makes you feel, sounds silly, but it makes you feel so much better because you're not alone in it. But their stories being worse than mine kind of made me feel silly for feeling as bad as I was.
Well, there's no worse. At the end of the day, everybody has lost a baby, and it's something that you wanted and treasured, and like, it wouldn't hurt so much only for you loved them that much.
Yeah,
you know. So it's always going to be a pain that we take with us. So I would say, like, it's certainly not a competition or anything like that, but we all miss and love our babies so much, and we will never forget them. Why would you want to forget them? Arthur, one of the things that we started this football team, so Arthur's name would never be forgotten. Like, and I'm wearing a Celtic jersey today, and Arthur's name is on the back of it. Like, the lads gifted a thing to me, and it meant the world to me. You know, it was hard not to cry when they gave it to me. Yeah. But it was just a sign of their appreciation. Not that they had to or anything like that, but it was a lovely little thing to do.
And I think it's important for us to say, like, you know, even though it's called Féileacáin Fathers, as much as it's dads, it's for everyone, if you know what I mean. It's not just you have to be a dad, you have to be a footballer, you know. It's whole families get involved in this, you know, just because it had to be called something, you know. And it was a group of dads, and you're, you know, Féileacáin Fathers. It was a logical name to put on it, but it's so much more. And I think it's important for us, you know, people to say, like, if there's, and this is the whole point of this podcast, when you came and said, you know, we were going through this, it's for the dads who are out there, like, you know, probably struggling in silence at the moment, don't have any connection. I suppose the first thing to say is, like, for these dads that are out there and they want to get out, or they're thinking, oh, you know, I like the sound of what them lads are doing. Who did they contact? Where did they go? What did he do?
Well, they can either contact Feileacain directly. They could drop an email to admin@feileacain.ie. They can contact us on one of our social media platforms, Féileacáin or Féileacáin Fathers, or both on Insta or Facebook. Just drop us a message. All you need to know is who you are and what your baby's name is, and you will be more than welcome into our WhatsApp group, and then you get to see when we're playing matches, when we're in. Maybe you'll only be able to get, there's never any pressure on anyone to turn up.
Yeah.
Like, someone could be in Donegal. I can't make them matches, but that's where we try to get matches as far around the country as we can. So you can come once, you can come every month. You can stay in the WhatsApp group and never post, but knowing you're getting something out of it. So reach out, like as I said, like we have some absolutely terrific footballers. None of them are here, but we do.
I'm gonna slide tackle him when he's leaving.
And like we've people that have played for League of Ireland teams, people that have played inter-county football for the GAA. But we've more people that have never kicked the ball before in their life, never played football. But we don't care. You'll still get your 45 minutes on the pitch, same as everyone else, or wherever you can last. And it's something that you might get involved in and say, right, I'll try to get a little bit further. I'll try to do this for my own sake. And like we have some amazing games. Like if Alan can score, it's hope for us all, yeah.
Scored multiple times, as you just showed out.
Multiple matches.
You know, Luke lightning strikes twice.
Put in the clips there.
And as well, you know, as you're saying, it's football, but you mentioned as well, lads, like everything, it's evolving and it progresses, and you know, and it's something that I've seen in the WhatsApp group. And one thing I have to say, just when I mentioned the WhatsApp group, as when Tony said there, when someone joins the group and Tony welcomes them in, I mean, you see 60, 70 messages, welcome, love, hearts, you know, no one's just put into the group and left. Every person in that group makes an effort to welcome. Like when I seen that for the first time, I was blown away because it's real. It's like or someone has a little moment in the, something, as you said, a birthday, or even just a success in their life or that, and everyone supports them. And it's a lucky thing to be a part of. Yeah. But I said I rambled a little bit, but as we were saying, it's going to evolve. So you have tried fuck off. You are thinking of possibly a walk. You know, there's other stuff that's
we want to get more dads involved. Like we had our fuck off recently, and like that wouldn't be competitive, or that wouldn't be you wouldn't be getting 2-footed tackles off these two lads. So we're able to get around.
Unlikely, less likely.
End up on crime watch.
You still get 2-footers off, James. But like we're gonna next year. Like we already have plans for every month next year, but we're bringing in other things. Like there might be a pool competition. There's a walk around Glendalough and a barbecue day for families. We've a match in Wexford, we've a match in Galway, we've a match in Cork, we've a match in Dublin. And we're always just looking for new ideas all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do.
It's the amount of organising that you've put into this as well. You know, it's great when we, you know, I can take for granted, you know, but it's the work the lads put into. They're not easy events to set up. It takes a lot of time and effort, but the boys happily do it and never complain, you know.
Well, I will give a shout out now because we do have a very strong committee of about 12 dads in it, and the dads are from all around the country. So it's great to have the balance from, can we get you down here? Can we do this? Can we do this? And those 12 dads do so much. And Feileacáin themselves really appreciate all the work that they do. Like the game just gone, we done the presentation check for June, and like the dads raised 27, nearly 28,000.
Wow.
The 3 other years, the 3 other charity games, like were well over 150,000 raised for Féileacáin. And that was only me asking everyone to bring €100. Like, dads are like this when it comes to it. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're doers, like a fundraiser. We're having a fundraiser, right? Get me a sponsor card. I want to do this. This is for Brooke. This is for Noah. This is for James. And like they go off chasing lads and getting sponsored for the jerseys. Like, we never take money. Féileacáin don't ever have to give us any money, which is so important to the dads, because we'd never want to be money coming from them that they need for, you know, the memory box. 900 memory boxes going out every year is like, it's just unbelievable. The cuddle cots cost a fortune. Putting on a house meeting in a hotel, like, people might think that you're getting them for free. But you're not. You're paying for a half day's room, and they're quite expensive. So the dads being able to contribute towards that means the world to them, and Féileacáin appreciate them so much.
And the lads do some amazing things in the group. Like, you know, you think you've seen something, and then the next someone's, and I'm like, lads, they just blow you away. But I understand why they're doing it. Yeah. But it still takes to get up and commit. Like I see someone running from here to there, and I'm just like, it's amazing. But I know why they're doing it. But isn't it crazy to see like the walks, the runs, all the crazy, not crazy stuff, but it's just the commitment to it.
Yeah.
But,
and like in the last 10 days, what would we have had? 4 new dads join us. And while that's very sad, those dads are so appreciative. They have somewhere to come.
Yeah.
Just from being able to talk to them personally, and they can't wait to get involved.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it is the fundraising side of things, like you say. The dads are making such an effort because they know how much Féileacáin means to them.
Yeah.
What Féileacáin has given them, you could never repay. You literally could not repay the memories. And like you said, the cuddle cots give you that precious time. So you want to go off and you want to raise funds for the next cuddle cot. That'll give the next family that few minutes. And these aren't, like Tony says, it's not free. None of it's free, but we can appreciate that money is going to a really good cause, and you're only too happy to go off and do what you can to contribute towards it. So that's it. Priceless. Like, that kind of stuff is priceless.
Perfect. Well, as I suppose we've been chatting for a while here. Is there anything else that I'm missing or forgetting? My missus say I've been known to forget a few things along the way. Have I forgotten anything?
Well, I'll let you finish off, Tony, but I just want to say that really I want to say the dads that might want to come along but don't want to be intimidated by the football.
Yeah.
Football, you don't have to play football, boys. If you want to come along and you want to stand on the sideline, you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, if your knees are gone, your hips are gone, do not let that stop you from coming along.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's definitely going to be something that you'll never regret doing. Don't come along and say, I can't kick a ball, I'm not going to get involved. Come along and join in.
Yeah, don't miss out on the opportunity for the sake of a football.
Yeah. And you can still get your kit at the end of the year in June. And look, Arthur's first kit that we have at home is framed at the top of the stairs. Like, and you're going to bed at night and you're looking at it and going, we can just give you a little smile, and everybody gets to keep their kits, and that's just so important.
Yeah.
If you're not framing them, you bring them on holiday.
Yeah. And my family were wearing mine down in Skibbereen.
Yeah.
Every one of them has to wear a jersey, and they get to wear a note on the back.
This year we opened it up that families could buy the jerseys themselves, and my WhatsApp picture there was Grace and Sam. I went on to have 2 other kids after we lost Arthur, so finally we got our daughter in the end, Grace, and then we had Sam, and they were there on Sunday or Saturday and got to wear Arthur's jersey, and Claire was there and she got to wear the jersey, so special for them. I would like to, just before we forget, to give a shout out to Dublin Port for sponsoring us, because they have been with us since 2020, and Charlie and Adele and all the people that work there who looked after us. It's so important because they're covering the costs of so many things that, as I said earlier, we don't need to chase Féileacáin for money. Like, they're looking at covers insurance, it covers the hurling the pitches, it covers buying kits when need be. So we'll always appreciate Dublin Port as our main sponsor, and there's a lot of other people that have sponsored us as well. Like St. Patsy White let us use that clubhouse and training pitch for free, and just up in Dublin, like Dublin City Council, and not the fair Irish Town House where we all go back for a few points afterwards.
Lemonades.
Lemonade for some of us, for us too. Not him. It's people like that who just couldn't wait to get involved and come and wait to help us, and they'll never know how much we appreciate them.
100%. Well, listen, lads, James, Tony, genuinely, thank you for coming here and speaking honestly, and for anyone who's watching, the lads came here because we're all here for the dads who are, struggling in their own silence, to let people know that there's an avenue if you want to get out and get connected and just share some of the grief and be around an amazing group of lads. Féileacáin Fathers is there for you. Remember, it's not just football. It's a group of dads who are united in grief. So as Tony said, there's Facebook, there's the Féileacáin, there's multiple ways to reach out. But if you're in any way feel, just do it. And for myself, it'll be one of the best things that you'll ever do. And again, thank you lads very much for coming. we look forward to doing the next episode.
Yeah, and thanks to you guys.
Féileacáin Fathers and Tony and all the lads. I'd really like to thank Magic Door Studios for giving us this opportunity. It's helping us reach out to dads that may need the help. So really appreciate yourself and James there.
Yeah,
everything you've done for us so far. It's been unreal.
If this podcast reaches one person, we've done our job, and thank you so much for also supporting us.
1000%. Look, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, lads.